Hi, welcome to Char and Chill. This is the second installment of this little thing that I'm doing. I'm really excited to be here. It was initially intended for every Saturday, but my Saturday yesterday was booked out, so I think I'm going to restructure that to say that it's every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. And then for anyone who may not know, I do collective readings every Sunday evening. So this evening will be no different. I definitely would like to tap into the general vibe, see what's happening. This is the one where you will be able to come in, ask any question you want. There are no limits. There were limits before because I was being strict about it. But since this is still in the beginning phases of manifesting, I don't want to put too many limitations. I'd like to see as I go what happens, how the vibe is. And then for the collective reading that I'll be doing this evening, that is not a card pull. That is more tuning into the collective energies, like a group discussion about how we're feeling, what we're processing. And yeah, no, that's actually it. That's it. I will be going on for 2 hours, so during this 2-hour phase, you'll be able to come in, ask anything, leave, go catch a break, come back if you feel like it, whatever. I'll be streaming for 2 hours. I'm jamming out to a playlist, to a South African playlist. I deeply intend on keeping all of the musical involvements on these things South African. So if it's, it's likely going to be South African curated playlist, curated by a DJ who is from South Africa. I unfortunately am not clued up enough on like South African artists who can give this kind of vibe that you can hear now to make a playlist of my own, which I could, maybe one day. But until then, I'm a huge fan of Thandiola by Salma Diope. I have put the link of his playlist, the playlist I'm playing right now, in the description. This one is featuring Jazz Lebara. And I think honestly, it'll almost always be, I'll almost always be playing playlist by Salma Diope. Thandiola is amazing. Love that man's mind. I hope that you're well. There is music, Ngaba. Hey, darling. There was music before, and I was trying to oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, I've landed. There's music for this one because it's terror and chill, I'm trying to create a vibe. So I'm always going to try keep music and keep the vibe going with that. Versus the Sunday evening ones that we were introduced through. Those ones are like real, those ones are discussions. I remember mentioning in a previous reading that I'd like to eventually turn it into a interactive thing where I can talk to people, we can talk to each other and discuss the vibe. That's what the intention of those are. But this is tarot and chill, man. Ask a question and I can pull a card for you. Or don't. And we can just vibe out to music. But I prefer not to be, I don't want to be watched. Don't come in here and just stare at me. Ask the question. Let me pull cards for you. I'm going to be using the Intuitive Tarot deck. I posted a picture of this on the thumbnail. But just to remind everyone, this is my home deck. I do have the Red Awake deck, but I don't really like pulling from it anymore. Yeah. I'm not into that deck anymore, actually. Not at all. I wanted to also, there was an energy that I wanted to touch on in general. But I can no longer remember what it was. But I hope that everyone's well in general. collective vibe, the global frequency, the way that we're all going through this crazy awakening right now, our dark night of the soul, it's intense. And I'm sending love to everybody because, yeah, the darkness doesn't seem to be letting up. It's very insistent. And I hope that you're managing to work with it, and transmute it and use it as a tool versus something to be victim to. And I hope you can remember that we are not the victim. Yeah, thank you, Mother. I'm glad you're here too, and I love this playlist as well. What's on our minds? Okay, I'll pull cards for that. And then just to, I don't think I mentioned that. I feel like I have to mention that every reading. My son's going to be in and out. There are going to be interruptions. Obviously, I'm not going to be stay put here for the whole 2 hours. There will be intermissions. Hopefully, they won't be too intense. This question is interesting because this is a question that I address when I pull cards for the evening readings, right? The collective weeklies. But I am of service, and because that's a question that appeared, I must pull. So we got again, and this is actually a card that I got for. I think it was last week's reading. It was one of the readings where I was just really depressed and down, and the general vibe of the reading kind of sucked, to be honest. But we got the Queen of Rods, the Nine of Cups, and the Two of Discs. I'm feeling that what's on our minds all in general right now is that we are all, it's part of what I mentioned in the beginning of, actually a few seconds ago, right? About a minute ago when I was wishing everyone well. We're all in a really intense dark night of the soul right now. We are really hovering in the underworld, and it feels like we're all trying to find a way to the promised land, so to speak. We're all trying to find ways to be happy, to hold on, to be hopeful. And okay, I'll speak for myself in interpreting these energies. There is, even through the lowest points, even through a moment of absolute darkness, where I really feel like, wow, everything needs to end right now. There's still something that pulls me and deeply encourages me. There's a hope from an indescribable place, from God. But for now, for the ego mind, I'll say it's indescribable. For now, I'll say it's indescribable. And, for the human mind, that is pulling me to remain hopeful, to stay grounded, to keep trying. Even if it is that, even if what I'm trying doesn't make any sense, just keep doing a thing. Keep going. Keep seeking this. Keep fighting for it. Even if it looks as though right now it doesn't seem like there's any kind of anything, like there's no hope at all. This force of love, of God, hope, faith is extremely compelling and is stronger than any darknesses that may threaten me in the underworld. And that's what I would hope, that's where I would hope we're all at. Although I would understand if it is that you still don't feel any inkling of hope, if you're incredibly depressed in your shadow world right now, I really do understand. There are no words. I've been saying this, there are no words to explain, to describe what we are facing. the level of uncertainty that we're facing right now, the absolute chaos. I feel very blessed for my location. I feel extremely blessed to be in South Africa. And I mean, we have our own shit, obviously, but yeah, I can't imagine what it's like to be in places where the collective political climate is so intense. I really can't imagine, for example, what it must be like to be in America right now. Blessed to everybody there. Hey, Peladi. I truly feel for everybody collectively as a world. Everybody feeling the pressure from the oppressive regime. And honestly, I even feel sorry for the oppressors themselves. I feel a deep empathy for all of us, for the whole earth as a collective. Tweet about this. I really think as a human beings, we are so much more evolved than this. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't want to get into the darkness and those political chats right now. I really want to remain of service. So anyway, my background situation is where we're at right now. I believe that we are all fighting tooth and nail for joy, hope, for things we deserve. But it's like hard. It's really, really hard. I'd like to see what the 2 of discs is about interpretively-wise. I hope that you are doing everything you can to find little glimmers of joy in your day, to literally create them. I feel at this point it's becoming our responsibility. Like, it's not going to do much to sit, fold your arms and say, I deserve happiness, but not like, versus reaching out and taking the happiness, creating moments of joy. Like, something as simple as playing music for me is a joy generator. Sorry. So something like that, playing music on loud, dancing, watching shows that you enjoy, going on walks, experimenting with your life, and with nature itself. It's really kind of crazy, but I saw this video of this woman talking to a tree, and she demonstrated how the tree responds back. There are lots of those experimental stuff, I'm sure, via social media. I don't have TikTok, but I'm sure there are plenty that you could try, right? Just to see. I tried it. And I mean, I already see this world as mystical. I'm full of whimsy. So when I do experiments like that, I talk to trees and I expect a response. I expect a response more than I don't expect a response. So I don't know if the tree actually responded, but when I asked that tree to touch me with his leaves, it touched me, touched my face. So you could try stuff like that to keep yourself up, keep yourself in touch with the things that can remind you that life is magical and connected to your energy and your influence. Keep things that remind you of your power and stay empowered, stay powerful, hopeful, while also surrendering to balance. Certainties and uncertainties. Stress, pressure, choices. Working with body energy, deciding whether to take an uncertain path, embracing the unknown. A compelling, mesmeric urge in life that is in danger of becoming slightly addictive. That's the interpretation of this card. Yeah. I'm going to... You're welcome, Mother. Thank you for receiving the answer. I felt at some point like I was yapping away. I want to touch on the Nine of Cups as well. Just because this is a very prominent energy in general. This is like, I mean, last week when someone asked about their next career move, this is the card that fell out. This is a card that falls out if I ask like what it is that, like, why am I alive? This is the card that will fall out. This is like, yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. You can see the vibe, it speaks for itself. But I think that there's an important sentence in the interpretation of this card that I've mentioned in readings previous that I'm still learning. So I want to read the descriptive paragraph for this card. The title says the Wish card. Traditionally, it depicts ecstasy, fulfillment, and delight. You may see it as the ability to experience life with passionate intensity, greeting every morning with gratitude and wonder. The flow connects into a wordless song of joy, the sun's rays reflecting in your own heart. This happiness can, of course, be in response to a specific person or event, but sometimes it may indicate the wish, not the actuality, where someone apparently adheres to the outflowing of joy, but whose actions belie their words. Chaos and confusion follow in their wake. Okay, that's interesting. It'll be the first time I'm reading that one. But the sentence that's important that I wanted to touch on says the conscious evocation of happiness, acting as if happy, depending on motivation, this is no bad thing. And it's from this place that the whole thing of like, behave as if it's happened so that it can happen. This is like it's a manifestation card. I'm very bad at that. I don't know how to behave as if I'm in my joy and as if my wishes have been fulfilled. They've yet to be fulfilled. It doesn't make sense to my logical mind, but it may be helpful for the times that we're in. I just really wouldn't know how to apply it. Especially not right now. Especially not right now. I'm still going through my dark night of the soul period. It has been dark and just really intense. Cultivating pockets of joy no matter how tiny or no matter how to speak. Oh, you're so welcome, Piladi. Please ask me a question. Let me pull cards for you. Please remember that this is what this is about. The reading that I'll be doing later on this evening will be more discussion type things, but this in particular is very specifically for me to pull cards for you to be of service for the next 2 hours. So use me, use the cards, and let's generate some upliftment because these times are crazy and we all need light. We're all really deserving of it. And that is pretty much what this is about. I understand though as well that sometimes you may not be in a position to receive light. Sometimes the darkness is so prevalent that it's difficult to see beyond it. And then there are also cases where, well, as with what we're experiencing right now, the shadow is extremely necessary. It's medicine for us. So we can't go under it, go around it, have to go through it. We have to go through it. And I am aware that the darkness that we're experiencing right now is necessary. It's extremely unfortunate. And it's very fascinating that everybody is treating all of this upheaval as something new when it's very clearly, what do I say? It's been archived that none of this is new. We're not seeing anything that our ancestors haven't already rioted and been killed for, you know? So, yeah, just I wonder about it. I wonder about all of this. And why is everyone treating it like it's new? Why is it that everyone's treating it like it's new? Why are we so shocked? If in our blood, on a DNA level, we know that none of this is new. suppose because it feels intense and it's been a long time coming for it to be exposed on this level. Oh, right, and social media. And that we're all on it. 24/7. Makes me wonder if anyone buys newspapers. Or if anyone interacts with like hard physical copy publications. And I wonder where all of that will go. How will information be treated in the future? The US military bought ChatGPT. So there's that. I don't know. How can we or I become more aware and involved about despair? It does. Become more aware and involved without despairing. That's a really interesting question because my experience is that awareness was very closely linked with the despair. I don't think that it's possible to be aware without despair and without the sadness, because I think so. It's like we're looking at life as a spectrum like this, and our awareness increases what we're looking at. So it increases it pulls apart the limits of our awareness on the spectrum, and the spectrum itself always has good and bad, happy and sad, etc. So I think that the despair is unfortunately part of the deal, but becoming more involved in what? Because all of that will depend on what you want to do with your awareness. It will depend on what your intention is. I really appreciate this question because I think that it's something that we're all thinking about and we're all having discussions on, but I haven't really seen anyone. In my honest opinion, I feel like anyone who's sincerely answering that question isn't talking about it. They're doing the thing. So getting involved with your community. So, okay, you see a problem. You see the thing causing you despair. Get involved with trying to alleviate that despair in any way. We're seeing other people suffering on a global scale. They're very far. There's nothing that we can do. There are ways that we can donate funds, but say you don't have any funds to donate. Consider what it is that the donation of funds does. It tries to bring relief to those people we're donating to. But they're too far, you don't have any funds. So then consider bringing relief to your direct community. I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say here. There's the answer to that question is not simple and straightforward. And I believe it's because of the energy of the despair that we're facing right now. This is really intense stuff. We're trying to reprogram, rebuild many, many things. And many things are crumbling at the same time. So it's not going to be a simple, straightforward answer. But I would honestly say, think about your intention and what it is that you want to do. Social yeah. So okay. sorry, I have to take my time with answering this because, like I said, it is a very important question. I think it's something we've all been thinking about. Yes, Ngaba, doing really is way more important, exactly. And we're all doing too much talking, to be quite honest. Like, it's also another thing to like organize communities and get together, but we're still getting together and talking. We're not doing anything. It doesn't feel like we're doing anything. So, yeah, it's about the doing. We have to, I feel like we need to find something to do that will make an actual impact. We talk, but our chats don't actually make any impact. They gain following, they gain traction on social media, they gain a reaction, they gain more bodies just showing up to do more talking, but nothing's being done still. I also have a bit of a problem with how, and I understand that when we think collectively, when we sit on a collective level, we are all connected. It is a global collective. We all affect the other. But I have an issue with how the whole lot of us are looking out there, but we're not looking around, you know? People are talking about free Palestine and they're stressed about the aid that's not getting to people in Gaza, but you're gonna drive past someone sitting at the robot who needs food and money. You're not gonna donate to that person, but you're gonna think of donating to Palestine. Obviously, you know, we all need, this is collective, there is still that collective mind, but like, I don't understand what we're doing or where our intentions are placed, or you'll have concern over people, over these big social political issues, but you're not showing up fully in your community. You're not like connecting to the people that you're friends with. You're not connecting to your family. You're not trying to heal those wounds. So I think the way to really get to the bottom of what it is that we're meant to be doing is to figure out our intention first. Our own selves. What it is that we want and what we I love this song. What we believe in. We believe in what's most important to us. It's a very layered exploration. And I don't know if the cards are going to be able to answer this question. So, the Three of Swords and the Six of Cups fell out. I think that directly these cards are speaking of the fact that we need to face the pain. The despair that we feel, we need to process it together. So, when you see despair via the socials, you see how the world is chaotic, it makes you want to cry, you must cry. It feels like the transmutation of that energy through our crying and through our own personal despair is helpful for the collective energetic grid. This also depends on what you believe in. I believe that we are all, while we're existing physically, we are also in intense existence energetically. And the act of crying and shedding tears for another, just that moment of feeling and empathy, it does something. It's helpful. And then I guess those tears and processing that despair for the other, that will move you into whatever action you think you need to do. So you'll decide it for yourself. I'm going to look into the Six of Cups because I know that the interpretation in this deck is very layered. But I think that just off looking at it, we do have to we have to let it go, let the old world go. And there's a lot about the old world that we need to let go of. It's so intense because there are still people in our circles who are running with prioritizing this, right? You're gonna have to we're going to have to take boycotting seriously because we've seen how it works. We are going to have to get serious about conscious purchasing. So the tech that you purchase it with intention. Don't go flocking like sheep to get the new iPhone just because it's the new iPhone. You know what I mean? Think about the kind of designer luxury items that we just went through that whole thing where China revealed to us what's actually going on with those designer purchases. So we're going to have to rewire the way we think about designer luxury items, because a lot of our bloodlines really focused on prioritizing that, right? Like that's the kind of thing that doing all of that can move us into action somehow. I think also that there's a lot of pressure because of how close we are able to observe this pressure. There's a lot of pressure for us to get moving, do something, attend a march, da-da-da. But like, I don't know, you're only one person and you have your own shit, you know what I mean? You have your own stuff. So I think it may also help to like ease up, try to forgive yourself, be patient with yourself. There's a lot going on. We're looking at yes, exactly. And what's this thing called? A wheelchair activism. Yes. When I first learned about that phrase in during that whole Black Lives Matter thing, they were all posting black squares in the name of Black Lives Matter, Blackout Tuesday. That was stupid. But anyway, the spreading of awareness is useful. It's helpful. But Anyway, the Six of Cups speaks of cherished memories, childhood ideals returning in the present, coming to a crossroads, accepting that some ideal aspect of life is over, letting go of all the emotional problems and difficulties in the past, and turning towards the future. Gratitude for the present, purity of vision. So I believe that ultimately then what these cards are saying is feel the despair, cry when you want to cry, and then remember to stay hopeful. Remember to look at the golden cup that you have in your hand and try to hold appreciation for that as you move forward, because there is going to be moving forward. We cannot go back. We can't look back. We have to change. We have to change. I like to also take a moment. I like to consider what I expect the countries. I like to consider what I expect the government bodies to do, and then how I can turn my expectation of their behavior into individual expectation on myself. So if I expect the government to care about its people and to be generous with their money and to stop lying to us, then I'm going to turn that into an individual experience and say then I should care about being generous, try my best to stop lying to people, etc., etc. I think that's the best thing that we can do right now is to try to start small. Start small. The grief we're processing is a lot. We are going through a lot of pain. Collectively right now, it is it's a very dark time. But I get the sense that we are going to be pretty surprised and proud of ourselves and of each other when we move past this. I also think that we're doing a really great job in general. I think I've said this in a previous reading. If you're not violent towards other people, if you're still trying to be true to yourself, you're still trying to be fair, you're not stealing, you're not scamming, you're not trying to manipulate other people's free will, you're still holding hope in God, you're still trying to be like good, that is amazing. Amazing. And thank you so much, because very easy to get swallowed by the darkness, by dark behaviors, and think to yourself that you need to give in to the air of desperation. Because I think all of this shadow and darkness also causing something desperate in people, where they're feeling like, wow, I need to go, I need to do something, I just need to steal, I have to do that. Which is, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I hold empathy. I hold deep empathy for every single person, everybody, for the whole lot of us, even the evil ones. Serious time. You're very welcome to let me. You're very welcome. I hope you have community around you who can hold your heart. I think that you're considering that question at all means that you are sensitive enough to really feel through the waves, and the waves have been crazy, and people like you who are sensitive enough to consider that need community. And as much as we're advising that you be there for your community, I hope that your community is there for you as well, and that you chuck the people that are not there for you, because you deserve people who are there for you. And they make you feel held, because your heart needs it. All of our hearts really need that. I hope we can really get into like supporting local as well. I think that's really, really important. So attend local events. Be willing to pay for local products, local quality products. Though I'm not. I don't want to be one of those people that say support local just because, and then their products are trash. But there are a whole bunch of people around who are really putting out quality work, quality experiences and events, and they really just need a boost. They need intentional viewers and participation. So I hope we can find that amongst ourselves. Interesting and really sweet. Not a single question so far has been like personal or like love, career, whatever. Everybody has just been tapping into the collective. What can we do? How can we, which is really, really, it's an honor to be alive with you. It's so special. I keep saying you could really be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like you could be a terrible person and God will still forgive you and you'll still be made room. We can see the results of that. That terrible people are still forgiven. God doesn't care about good or bad. But you still choose to be good. So nice. I've been seeing this like building up over years as well from astrologers. I'm no longer, at first I was like, no, this might not relate to us because she's American and she does really look at life from a very, very strictly American lens. Her name is Jade. She suggested like 2 years ago that people start really building their communities from a ground up just in case something apocalyptic happens. So make sure that you have a doctor in your friend group. Make sure that you have a lawyer in your friend group. Make sure you have someone who's good with tech, because of how the general economy may crash and then we won't be able to reach each other as easily. There's also a lot of chat about the internet crashing, but honestly, I think if it does happen, it won't happen for too long. I do feel though that like the general energy of the internet is changing, and there's something about it that that we should appreciate and use now and like take advantage of now. So if you're someone who music is incredible. If you're someone who has thought about starting a YouTube channel, do it right now. If you want to start a business, do it as soon as possible. Not to say that like it doesn't have to be urgent, you're never going to run out of time, all in your own time, obviously. Your body knows, you know your truth, but we are in a really incredible, juicy time right now where I think especially South Africans should be taking advantage of creating, putting themselves out there, using all of the free resources that are available on the internet. There are many, and I don't think that they'll be free for long. Do what you can to eat it up and build your life for yourself. Build your dream. Anything is possible. Anything. Absolutely anything is possible. You'll be so shocked when you try to pursue something. The dream lands in your mind, you pursue it, and then it works. Anything. I don't think you get it. Actually, doing this whole playlist thing gets me banned from, gets the video itself banned from certain countries. So I don't actually know. I don't know. I'll have to figure out how to go around it. But I'm really glad that everyone enjoys it. I'm glad that everyone enjoys the music aspect of it. I speak on it to give a heads up. Say that it may be difficult to find. I was considering not saving this live, but I think that for my own progress, I would like to observe how things change, ebb and flow with this thing I'm doing. So I'm considering saving it, but I don't want it to be banned or shadow or whatever. Remember, this is a podcast session, and because my audience is still a handful, you are more than open to ask more than one question, although this will obviously change and to accommodate the size of whoever's in the chat asking questions. But feel free to ask anything and bring up any thoughts you may be having that you need clarification on. And then please remember that later this evening I'll be doing a collective reading. That's when it'll be necessary that's when I think the questions that came up in this live stream will be useful. I will actually take that chat to, I will extend the questions that appeared here to the reading that I'll do later on this evening, because I think those thoughts are really important. And like I said, I think we've all been cooking on the intention of what can we do, what can be done, how can we try to make things better. It's really sweet. But I'd also like to just remind everyone that not everyone's thinking that way. And if you are, you're definitely part of the 144,000. That specific group of people that are granted access to heaven. You're one of them. Of course, I don't believe in that though. Like we're all gonna go to heaven. We could be in heaven right now. It's just these tests are mad. I'll be right back. Why do you think so many people are turning to religion? That's interesting. That's a really interesting question. Thank you for asking that. I think I actually addressed this in a live that I did, a collective reading that I did before, where I was talking about how, oh no, it was actually a video, whatever. I was talking about how because everything is really uncertain. Nobody knows what's going on. And as human beings, our egos are used to control. Because everything is uncertain, we've been so used to control, everything is changing. It's like our control within this changing paradigm is, I don't know how to describe this image. Okay, up till now, this has been the change and the universal chaos of the world, and this has been the illusion of control that we have within that universal chaos. They were right next to each other, where at some point, for a long period of time, it was as if we were in constant control, or we were able to be, at least, in constant control of everything. Everything was predictable. All science had an evidence. Blah, 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 blah. There is now, it seems as though everything is more chaotic. Like the chaos of the universe is more aware to us. Right? Did I say that right? We are more aware of the chaos of the universe. So our control is becoming smaller, and it's leaving a gap between the universal chaos and the illusion of control that we've held. That gap needs to be filled with something. And I believe that gap is where we created God and religion and all of these beliefs that we think will keep us maybe not in control, but in alignment with the universal chaos, so that we won't get hurt by it. It's basically to deal with our fear and these feelings of unknown and uncertainty. They're very, very major right now, and we don't know what else to do with it. So we're turning to, I believe that's why we're turning to religious dogmas and spiritual practices, spiritual psychosis. The psychosis bit is something I don't know how to account for, though, because there's been some real psychosis with people where they killed their family and then themselves. I don't know if you've heard or if you are into astrology at all, but there's this really famous astrologer via Twitter. I think her name was Lipsticks or something. And she was a really prominent astrologer via Twitter. Like, I was aware of her for years. She was on her stuff about astrology. Next thing, she goes off, and I think you can actually still find her tweets. She goes off about what did she go off about? I think it was some major conjunction happening between either Jupiter or Saturn or something like that, and she starts talking about how, she starts mentioning something about the awakening. The sirens are ringing, something like that. Things are about to change, major stuff. She's like shouting at us via Twitter. And then the next day, and it's not funny actually, sorry, I'm just laughing at her shock. It's actually still shocking. The next day she appears in the news because she killed everyone and herself. She killed her whole family and herself. I can't account for that kind of psychosis. I don't understand what that was about. I don't know why that would happen. That is awful. But it does feel like there may be... Your questions are so relevant, Bloody, thank you. There may be more of that because of the levels of uncertainty that we're all facing collectively. Everyone's in a real panic about losing control. I don't think that there has been anything like the lack of control we are facing as a humanity. I don't think there's been so many of us aware at the same time that we cannot control life's outcomes. And we're all really, 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 really stressed about that. And I think that's part of what causes the psychosis. I just don't understand why you act out to that point where you kill other people. I understand the act of killing yourself, but to kill your family too, it's like, do you think that you're saving them? Or yeah, everyone's really stressed out. We're very panicked, extremely panicked right now, and we're very, very worried about our smallness. I think that it's part of what I mentioned as well with the intensity of everything. I think it's very intense for us to be facing casually that countries can just bomb each other left and right. They can just decide, oh, I'm going to bomb you and I'm going to bomb your home, so you better get out quickly, make it out, and if you don't, then bomb. Like, that's terrible. And that's why I feel sorry for everybody, no matter who's what. I just can't imagine what it would be like to be told, leave all of your belongings behind and go. You don't make it on time, your home, everything you've known is getting bombed. And then the LA fires too. Terrible. I can't imagine what that's like, having your home burned down. I also think that the earth itself the ground that we have lived on, been buried in, is getting sick of our shit. We have, well, not we, they have pilgrimaged on this earth for too long, and I think the earth itself is getting pissed off. Animals are getting pissed off. Can you imagine the breath of air that they got from the time that we were locked up in COVID? That brief period when we saw nature healing itself. And now we're back, and on top of that, we're bombing each other. Every time I consider it, I really think, what is the end game? And that's part of the issue. That's part of the control thing that we have as human beings. Because I technically shouldn't be concerned about the end game. I don't know what it is. It's none of my business. I'm just a human. We're scared about reckoning our life and people that happens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And on some level, we're also all very afraid of death. We're all facing that. The end of things. I don't know where I got this contemplation from, and I don't know how true it is, because when I look at other people, I don't know if people are actually considering this, but someone said that everything that we all do is in the name of, it's either in the fear of it or preparing for death. Either we are in fear of death or preparing for death. But every single thing we do, every decision we make comes from that place. I don't know how true that is. I can understand it. I can understand that it might be true for every person, but I don't know. So I look at some people that I really don't. I don't think they even understand death. I think they actively. Well, okay, I was gonna say I think I actively avoid it, but then that would be them still moving from that place of a lack of contemplation of death or an over contemplation of death. I can't help but wonder. I really can't. I'm very curious to see what all of this is about. It's part of what keeps me going. It's part of that compelling energy. Where is it? I don't know where it is now. But the Two of Cups that fell out is part of that compelling urge that might become addictive. That's part of my personal addiction, honestly, is contemplating death and death and life, trying to understand where all of this is going, what the point of it all is, why we're so afraid of it. We also saw a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that said that when you do die, your body knows exactly what to do. And that made me contemplate the fact that surely then your body knows what to do in life as well. Surely your body knows and understands enough about the systems that it's been brought into to know what to do, to know where to know who to make friends with, who to be in relationship with, who to bond with, to know which jobs to work and which to leave alone. And then it makes me consider human design and the sacral response, or the emotional response, the places from which you're suggested to make decisions. Yeah, if you're not into human design, you should get into it. Although I really do think that anyone who is spiritual and who understands life as like an energetic exercise already lives by their human design. It just, I guess, helps to have it all put in words. I don't know. It didn't help me that much, just only the sacral understanding, and I received the validation that the validation of the power of following your intuition. But otherwise, I don't really understand it all too well. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't click with me when I seek understanding. But I have seen many people. I've seen many people who have said that their lives have changed thanks to human design. And Jade, that astrologer I was talking about, who mentioned the apocalyptic vibes of the world that we need to prepare for, she is now a human design. What do I call it? Teacher? Advocate. But she does teach us. She does teach us. She teaches. Yeah. Reminding everyone to please pop a question. I'm here to pull some cards. We're here to get into the vibes. I suppose also it's a little bit awkward to pull cards. It's like the spotlight is on you. And maybe the questions that you have are too personal. You could say that they're for a friend. Wink. You could say that they're for a friend. I was gonna say I would try putting myself on the guillotine and pull for myself, but I've already made very solid decisions about anything that I may want to pull cards for. I'm also not very good at pulling cards for myself. I struggle to understand what the cards are saying when I'm pulling for myself, but it's a lot easier for me to understand what the cards are trying to say when I'm pulling for other people. I think it's like that whole thing of how doctors can't operate on their family members. Something like that. But yeah, I really struggle to pull cards for myself, and I'm trying to cut it down. Whereas I think anytime I do it for myself, it feels like an emergency. But it's also very intense when the answers are true. I posted about this a week ago, maybe a week or two ago. I pulled cards for something. I didn't know what the issue was. I looked at cards, I didn't understand it, and then about an hour later, I was sobbing about what the cards were telling me about. So sometimes that happens too. You ask for an interpretation, consultation. The information you're receiving doesn't resonate because the healer or the person that you're working with is tapping into a timeline that hasn't happened yet. You have to actively choose that timeline first. Yeah, you have to choose that timeline first in order for the truth about that timeline to come. Let me tag this one that I'm playing now. Still Olda Durafela by Salmadiope. I was about to say you don't want to pull cards for yourself. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'll do that then. I'll do that. Ooh, okay, I'll do that. Let me just tag this playlist. I actually played this playlist last time. I just love Saul Mariope, man. Okay. So, I have a connection in my life that has been hovering in and out for years. I've actually tweeted about him multiple times. I have 12th house ministry with him. He really knows how to keep me. We barely interact. Like, we could go months without seeing each other. But every time we interact or talk to each other, it's incredibly impactful for me. I can't tell how impactful it is for him. I think not I think, he is emotionally avoidant. He's, for the astrology girlies, a 12th house, tropical 12th house Aquarius moon. So he's very, very hard to read. And he knows about himself that he is, he's not an emotional person. He actively avoids interacting with himself in any way because he just doesn't find it useful for himself. He's followed through the understanding of relinquishing the self. Like, he's taking it very literally. He's on the spectrum as well, extremely so, and has maintained the fact that the universe, or that his God, has sent him to do something, has sent him to me. It's like his God, the universe, God, keeps pointing to me, and he's like, keeps pointing and saying, she's the one. For what? We don't know. No one knows. Every time I try to pull cards, they change form. We go through seasons where he is completely emotionally unavailable. He's in fact emotionally immature. He's closed off, and he is someone I should avoid and leave alone. Then there are other seasons where the cards give me 10 of Cups vibes, and I need to actually find the 10 of Cups so you guys can understand. There are seasons where this card will fall out. But then our relationship still won't really go anywhere. We'll just have a really incredible conversation where we'll feel like, okay, we're finally getting each other. But that's it though. Like, that's as far as it goes. So, recently, as I'd mentioned, I don't really, I've decided that I don't want anything to do with our connection anymore. I don't really want to participate in I've recently decided that I don't want to get involved with him anymore. I don't have any desire for any of it. It's too confusing, and it's too like, it whiplashes me way too much. But there's still some part of me that also says, you're running away by deciding this. So I'll pull cards, see what comes up, and then yeah. This is very interesting. Thank you for the prompt, Melody, for inviting me to ask this. I wouldn't have done this. So the Queen of Discs fell out. What do we say? He has enough money, power, and influence to turn me into the Queen of Discs if we were actually serious about my presence in his life. He could literally turn me into this. He could. But every time there has been any prospect of a possibility of a chat of this, he goes out of his way to also mention the fact that he enjoys the way that his life is right now. He's not looking for anything more. He won't explicitly say, I'm not looking for a relationship, but he will say, I am fine how I am. I am happy with how I am. So with the Queen of Discs falling out, then that's when I don't get it. And then I start to think, okay, then it's just time for me to focus on myself and figure out how I can be this for myself. But then that doesn't help me understanding it doesn't help me in understanding what to do with our connection. Then I get annoyed, and then I stop pulling cards, and I try to ignore him as best I can. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I think that he does. This is something that he has explicitly expressed, that in his act of love for me, he is releasing me and trying his best to leave me alone, because if he doesn't do that, then he is at risk of causing me pain, hurting me, whatever. And I don't think that the way that he thinks he's going to hurt me is something that actually hurts. I think he's just scared of the push and pull and tension and emotion and rise and fall that happens with love in general. I think he's just scared of loving people in romantic connection with others. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try pull another card and see. But then after that, yeah. Like I said, it annoys me. It annoys me when cards like this fall out that are just so ambiguous and like, what do you mean, Queen of Discs? What do you mean? What can I do with this?
Know that we don't see eye to eye. It's so hard for you when you don't see this love. Because I'm all alone.
And then like, I can't tell you how many times the star falls out when I pull for our connection. So many times. Even if it's surrounded by other negative cards, the star will always fall out. And I feel like I don't understand it. I take it to mean that I'm just supposed to try to come as I am, come as myself, but myself will leave people alone. Myself will will keep the wall as high up as possible so that I don't have to express myself or impose on other people. And then we have the Ten of Rods and the Fool. I don't know what to do with these cards. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to understand it outside of like, this is who I want to be. In general. She's a homemaker girl. Very good at tending to the home, very practical. Like a mother with Cancer and Capricorn placement. But mostly Cancer. She's really focused on tending to the home. And then this Ten of Rods is how we both feel as individuals. And I feel in my heart that I feel really convinced that if he was just open his heart up to the possibility of us changing, that we could probably save each other. The whole idea of two people coming together to create a third thing, I feel like that narrative is very fitting for us. But I can't deal with his fear of me and of love. And I can't honestly deal with my own fear of being vulnerable. So I don't know. I don't know. So I feel like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I ignore it until something monumental happens, or he says something crazy, or I feel like saying something crazy. Then something happens, friction, tension builds, and then we separate, and come together and separate, come together again. Exactly. Thank you for that. You are a poet. Oh, that's very pretty word. Yeah. I get how he might feel overwhelmed too. I understand. I feel overwhelmed with him. I get it. I really do. So that's why I resorted to doing my best to just focus on myself and like leave him alone, give him space. Today started with him telling me that he's going to be MIA for a bit. And I don't know what that normally means. His MIA for a bit kind of, it has its own like, it has its own, I don't know. The length of time he talks about it, it always changes. He'll say MIA for a bit, then he'll reach for me in like 2 days. It's like, what was the MIA we're talking about? Sometimes I feel like he doesn't want to say first so he can gauge where I'm at in terms of my attachment to him. And I have in tropical astrology, I have Libra in Chiron. All of my wounds are stored in the relationship, the connection, the relational factors with other people. All of my wounds. So I don't know. I'm still learning how to cope with it. Thank you for giving me the floor to do that. I really appreciate any opportunity that I receive where I'm invited to share. I really don't share often. I'm not used to it. The sensation is very unfamiliar to me. So I'm grateful for that. Please remember, for anyone new in the view room, we're in cards. Free card for anybody. Oh, I actually wanted to bring up the chat of people's dreams. I'm curious to know about how the dream job is going. I'll address this in the reading that I do later this evening as well. But I'm following someone who has spoken about how they've been dreaming and dreaming over and over again about their exes. Really strange. I also find myself dreaming about these boys who I'm not even good with them like that in real life. I would never tell them my personal information, my personal secrets and processings. They know nothing about my inner world. I know nothing about theirs. But I am always having dreams about their material successes. Like, always. I'm always having dreams about their big moves. I had a dream the night before they made a huge announcement about a business collaboration. The next day they announced it, and it's huge. It was really, really huge. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with the kind of connection I have with their creation. And I wish that I knew before being such an avid fan of their work, that I would be so connected, because then I wouldn't have played around about being a fan. I think that's something worth touching on and bringing up now, that you need to be careful about who you invest your energy into, because it's like your energy will literally spill into their cup and stay there. And then you'll be connected with every decision they make, the way that they feel, etc., etc. And for me, I don't understand what to do with that. It does nothing for me, because I'm not going out a lot right now, and so I'm not really looking for that. So I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know whether I want to share it. I think it'd be weird, because I also don't know what they would do with it. I think just the ideas and thoughts and experiences of spirituality in general are very intense right now. Really intense. I was discussing this channel with my family, and they were talking about ways that I can increase viewership or whatever, but I honestly think that I'd be incredibly overwhelmed if that happened right now. I'm really grateful. Sorry, I forgot to adjust the volume. I'm really grateful for the way that I'm slow burning this experience, and for how there'll only be a handful of viewers at a time. Sensitivity-wise, I really don't think that I'm built for many, many eyes. Yeah, I'm not built for that at all. And I don't really intend on that regarding this journey that I'm on. I do want to focus on being of service and on the enjoyment that I pull out of pulling cards and out of working with divination tools. I think just the act of divination is very, very cool and the source of like what keeps me grounded on earth and in living in general. I really wouldn't understand life if it weren't for the ability to connect with other aspects of it, other realms. But that's all I want to do for now. Way mind blown about having followed fanatic culture. But this is coming from a place where I am like I actively practice fanaticism. Well, I used to. I don't do it anymore because I'm very wary of the energy spillage. But I mean, I grew up doing that even in my daily life. Where like I was in middle school and I would fan over the and that's where something starts, right? Just the whole act of giving your energy. I don't want this to be that. I don't want anyone to give their energy to me. I'm trying to offer my energy to you through divination. Also doodling as well on the side of all of this. This is something that I doodled last week. I like to it doesn't even make any sense, right? I like to challenge myself by drawing the strangest things that I can. This really strange creaturesque stuff. I appreciate how it's expanding my experience with doodling, but it's also allowing me to reach into the crevices of the creepy parts of my brain. I think that exploring those creepy parts and those dark parts are really important, especially right now, because there's a lot of creepiness going on in the world, and I think it all needs to be transmuted somehow.
More than just a feeling, it's an action, it's an expression of how we view the world and how we view others in our lives. The way that we love each other really shows who we are as people.
I wonder how this year has been for everyone. I've seen that there are a lot of there's been a lot of health scares.
Sometimes it can feel scary.
I honestly think that's largely rooted in the incorrect or imbalanced processing of the energies that are happening right now. I think that a lot of us are ill-equipped on the understanding of energetic influences and how all of that can influence your somatic structure. I think we all really underestimate that. I actually saw some woman on Instagram try to tell me that your emotions are not stored in the body. I still have an issue with how she put that. I can see she went into a whole rant about why that's not true, and I can understand, but I don't believe her. I still think she's wrong. She's also white, just by the way. think that underestimating the way that our bodies are machines that can process information in the same way computers can. Computers store information. So what do our bodies do? Unless maybe she meant that, like, I don't know. Our bodies don't store emotions. Give it a second. Go drink water. Can't remember what I was saying now. Emotions. I wanted to extend on the understanding she shared about how emotions aren't stored in the body, but so she was essentially trying to say emotions aren't stored in the body, they are only processed, and we choose to reprocess things that we don't need to process anymore. We can just let them go. But what if we don't let them go? Isn't the act of us reprocessing them over and over again mean that they're still stored in our body somewhere? Fishy. Sam's drawing so weird. I'm thinking now that I also saw, I was watching a video of Pam's, I should tag that, talking about how this phase of our lives is a practice for the real deal to start happening around next year when Saturn and I think she said Neptune go direct, because they're both going to do a retrograde thing and then they're going to go direct officially next year. So we're in a practice phase, we're in a rehearsal phase, that's what she called it. It's making me think about all the Saturn and Aries placements. I'm wondering about you all. I hope that you're all okay. Saturn transits are not easy. But there's something specific about, there's something about the Saturn and Aries one that's just not, it's not light. It's not light work. It feels very serious. I am about to tag the video now in the description so that you can find it and watch it for yourself. Stop, baby. Go wash your hands, please. We are also facing a new moon in Cancer that's approaching. I wonder when in South Africa it's going to come. Let me see. Okay, it's in Taurus right now. Really fast. Okay, so I think it's going to be in Cancer by the 24th, 25th. And with it being in Cancer, tropical Cancer, by the way, that implies no joke emotionally for our emotional bodies. I don't think that's gonna be light work at all. I'm so tired of crying and feeling like I'm out of control of my emotional body. But this reading did address that, and how that lack of control is like, it's nothing serious. It's nothing to allow to let us, we shouldn't be letting us lead that sense of a lack of control. We shouldn't allow it to lead us. I hate being out of control. In sidereal astrology, I have my Chiron in Virgo. And in the 7th house, no less, which I suppose is why this connection that I have with this 12th house synastry man is so annoying, because every time I surrender control to our connection, things go up. I feel like I'm connected to him. Everything is well. Every time I try to take control of our connection and I start getting irritated about how I don't understand it on a logical level, we separate, we move further apart. It feels like everything we say to each other, offsets the other person. It's very interesting, and I wonder about the longevity of a connection like that. A connection that is totally up to God in the moment and totally dependent on being present. Surely there's a way that our connection can go surely there is a connection to have with someone that will allow for every moment to be purposeful, meaningful, useful, and both of you will be aware of it. Surely there's a way to connect with someone like that, you know? But I don't know. I also know for a fact that it's a personal thing that I have to learn about myself and my ability to relate to others, my relationships, stuff like that. What's also really interesting, now I'm talking about these live readings that I'm doing, it'll be a quiet room for the hour and a half, and then in like the last 20 minutes, I'll have people chopping in, ready to ask questions, ready for me to pull cards. It's like, what? You have 20 minutes. Why would you come in the last 20 minutes? And I'm not going to sit, I don't know. Maybe I should stream for an hour. That means an hour extra. 3 hours is a long ass time. I'll see. I love doing this either way. I love connecting with people. I love hearing other people's thoughts, understanding people and life in general. I love discussing. I sometimes wish I could be a teacher, but I really hate institutions. It makes me cackle when I think about the kind of person I've become. But yeah, I really hate institutionalized thinking. I really do. It's too boxy for me. It doesn't make any sense. How are people expected to evolve? It's like giving the illusion of evolution. You're giving the illusion that, oh yeah, you're growing. It's like giving you these marks and labels, and yes, you've leveled up, now you're fresh, now you're intelligent, da-da-da, but you're not actually evolving to any point. You're just becoming more and more what someone is you're becoming more and more what someone has labeled as necessary for you to become. It's like, it doesn't seem too realistic. But I also just think that I'm a stubborn person in general. I love doing these readings as well during a time that the sun is setting. Doing these readings puts me in a very still position. Like, I'm not on social media when I'm doing this. I'm kind of forced. I'm facing the outside, looking at the view of outside of my home, looking at this tree that I've connected with my whole life, looking at the sun and the sky change form. I'm mostly still. It's another reason why I love doing these. And why it's so cool that I get to do, that I get to do them actually. Because I think it takes a lot of hope and dreaming to do something without a lot of hope, love, dreaming, purpose, intention, to do something without any gain, especially of the monetary kind, especially since we are all sitting in a really shaky economy right now, during really shaky times where we don't know what to do, no one knows what's up. I'm really grateful to be in this moment, to be in this zone. Talking to trees. I think that's a very underrated way to stay grounded and to help you heal through everything. I spoke to trees a lot when I was grieving over my son's father. I did a lot of tree walking, just sitting on a stump and communicating with the tree and actively treating it like a friend. This is also very hard to do with people who are alive, living human beings with their egos, and no one actually really knows how to deal with grief. No one knows how to deal with depression. We can all say, we all have big words and methods and think pieces, but when you experience needing to actually help someone through that kind of grief, experiencing the grief is a lot. Grief is also an amazing teacher, and I wouldn't trust anyone who hasn't grieved. And I don't know what kind of person that makes me, but I really cannot trust people who haven't grieved enough where they feel like they could punch God in the face. I can't build a connection with them. I can't take them seriously. I need someone who's really, really faced the makings of death. Otherwise, I feel like we'll always misunderstand each other, or there'll always be one person doing a different kind of labor than the other, and we're always just gonna keep missing each other. And that's frustrating. So I feel like I always, I have so much room to understand the other person, but there are not many people who have the room to understand me. And this is not in a victim kind of way, it's just in a way of like acknowledging that I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I think the people I read for are different too. Anyone who's interested in my work and consumes it is different. They're very special. Different. If you've seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, and if you haven't, then you should. It's the best. Children's movies. That's been a surprisingly grounding, healing thing, especially for my inner child. Forgot that's... No, I haven't forgotten. Well, yeah, I forgot for a while and then remembered, I think like 2 months ago, that watching children's movies is actually really healing. Disney was onto something. FBI. Freaking. Conspiracy theories. Life. Playing around with the desktop audio. I have 18 minutes left, and I think that doing this on a Sunday, I've learned about what works, what doesn't. We definitely did have a lot more like random, please give me a career reading, please give me a love reading participation on Saturday. I suppose on Sundays is more spiritual. Because it's a Sunday, more collective. So I will try to focus this in more on Saturday. I like the Saturday frequency a lot better because people be asking things, man. It's nice to play. Really nice to play with these cards, play with the energies that come. Like I keep saying, I love divination. I love reading tarot, and I especially love connecting with this deck, the Intuitive Tarot. I think this deck is really, really special. Really special. Like I've already said before, it's taken me a while to connect to it. But once I did, I hit the ground running, and I really never want to read from any other deck. It's going to take a very special deck to take my attention away from this one. Shout out Zilla Conway. So yes, this will definitely be a Saturday thing. I'm also wondering if it should be a Friday thing as well. I'm trying to interact with this work a lot more so that I can pour more energy into it in general. I think I'm pouring way too little energy in the act of divination. Yeah. I also got a Vedic reading from a friend of mine who actually haven't responded to. But she shared with me that my chart really points towards the fact that I should be a teacher or some kind of knowledge or information sharer. And I don't really have enough faith in myself and my own understandings to just share my own knowledge. That's why I also love connecting it with these cards, because I feel secure in the fact that it will be knowledge shared from the cards as well, and not just me yapping about what my thoughts are. I regard myself highly, but not that high. I also think that there's more than enough of us trying to tell the other person what to do via the internet. It's kind of frustrating because you'll find that someone is telling someone what to do, meanwhile they do not practice or apply the truth in their own life. They in fact apply the exact opposite, or they're speaking on things that they're barely aware of in their own life. That's like, it's insulting to the people that are trying to actually take sincere information from you and who are going to apply that information and surpass you. And you'll be stuck still teaching knowledge that you do not fully understand. I think it's ridiculous. But anyway, I hope we still continue to practice the same. I have my eye out on every other person doing the things that I'm doing. I try to keep my eye out for practicing sangomas, healers, intuitives. There are some who I keep in my back pocket, not my back, my front pocket, the one by my heart. Those are very special people. You can actually find them via my social media, Instagram. I follow them. People that I follow, I swear by. But specifically, right now, the ones that have been in my radar and that feel especially familiar to my heart, the ones that feel especially familiar to my heart are Ugogo Kanyabude and Esinabo Ndabeni. I mention them so often. And Essie I've actually been following for years. I realized the other day that I've been following her since I think like 2018, 2017, when she was going under another tag name, which is really cool. I love when I just know, you know, which I always do. I always do. I don't play about people who. If you attract my attention, I didn't want to toot my own horn, but I am actually going to toot my own horn because fuck it. I have brilliant taste in people, and I know I do. I know that I can tell exactly who is worth energy investment. I know that I'm very, very good at telling who is worth it. And that's not to say that the people who I'm not interested in aren't worth it, but I guarantee you that anyone who I point you towards, especially healer-wise, because that's my main focus right now, anyone who I point you towards, they are worth it. You are safe with them. I promise you. And those ones that I mentioned, Ugogo Hanyagude and Esinago, I swear by them. There are many others, but yeah, those two are very, very special to me right now. And I would recommend them over and over again for anything, both sangomas, both healers. I think Esinago Ndabeni, Ungumthandazi, and Ugogo Hanyagude is a sangoma, okobela, a yogi. But both of them are very good at navigating their dance between worlds. And they're so graceful, they're so beautiful. No. You'll find them. You'll find them. If you're really intentional about it also. Because I don't want to point people towards them who are going to waste their time. There are, of course, other people who I don't trust, who I don't want to drag and tag, because I want to make room for the possibility that I'm wrong and I'm just a hater, because I am full of haterade. I do have a tendency of hating on people for no grounding, just because, there's something I don't like about you, or there's a tone that you use that I don't like, or there's a slant of your eyebrow that I'm not into. I do that. I'm that type of person. And there are some superstars on the spiritual map right now with their own studios and practices who I don't trust for shit. I don't person for shit. But you guys love them, so maybe there's something wrong with me. But discernment is really important. My issue with some of those people, or some of the ones that I don't like, is that they're not asking questions like what Hilary asked in this reading. They're not trying to consider the ways in which they can actually be of use to their community. They're not thinking that far. They're only thinking about marketing, business, money, traction. Boring, especially when you're dealing with spiritual practice. Soul expansion, you're dealing with soul work. How can you only be thinking about money? But they're getting money, so... And yeah, what you focus on expands, right? So they're just their energy doctors all the same. Good for them. But I implore you to watch out for people who don't have their intentions right and who are just using your energy to make them more money. I don't fuck with that. I have all of 9 minutes left. I'm grateful for everybody that has sat through me yapping. Very, very grateful. Because that's actually all this experience was for the most part. Not many people were seeking answers or anything like that. Which means that this was just a yap fest for me for the past 2 hours, mostly. And sharing pieces of me. Which, like I said, I'm really grateful for because I don't do it often. I don't take that invitation lightly. I don't really... My comfort zone is not in sharing myself. So that this episode of Tyra and Chill was an opportunity for me to do that is actually really special. So thank you for bearing witness. I hope that it was beneficial for you in some way. And I'll definitely be back next week. This is going to be added to my weekly roster. I'm looking forward to it. And someone actually did reach out to me via Twitter, giving me advice on what it is that, on how it is that I could make this more... I don't know if maybe her intention when sharing that with me was to help me make this more lively. But like I said, I love where it is right now. I am not trying to make this huge or gain more viewership or anything. I'm not trying to make this a huge deal. This is really mostly being of service, upliftment, connection, community building, all of that cheesy shit. So I welcomed the suggestions, but yeah, I have a very specific, not self-centered intention with this. If you do have any suggestions, please feel free to DM me. I will not ignore any suggestion. Every piece of information is useful to me. But please keep in mind that I'm not trying to make this about me at all. I really want this to be about the act of service to you and pulling cards. You know what I mean? That's what I want this to be about. It's about the cards. It's about the divine. It's about upliftment, staying connected to the divine, staying connected to truth, making sure we are all aligned with shit so that we can break samsara and pass these tests, man, and get like better at being alive and living and enjoying ourselves. I think that in closing, I'll pull a alu. In closing, I'll pull a card to leave you with, because I do think that the divine who is connected to these cards knows who's going to tune into this reading. And so the card that I pull will be specifically for you in closing them, which will be in a few minutes. I'm going to take this time now to pull up your cards. In closing, for the collective that tunes in, thank you again. I have a very deep gratitude for you if you're interested in. I know I think that part of why I try to chase away eyes focused on me is because I'm a little bit scared of rejection. I'm scared of eyes being focused on me, and then the focus comes, and after a while of that focus staying there, they go, oh, this actually is what I'm focusing on. Never mind. You know, that part of rejection, I'm really sensitive to that. I am rejection sensitive. I am an emotional person. I'm an emotional person. So yeah, I'm sensitive, man. I think that's part of what my whole thing is with trying to be like, no, don't tune into my work. If you're actually interested in me, blah blah, make it about you. But obviously, the general attention is welcome. Like, I can't help if you're interested in me, which I'm grateful for. I really am, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. If you think that I'm worth your time, I'm really, really grateful for that. It's a huge deal for me. So, let's, in closing, pull a card for this last minute. Pull a card, see what comes up. For the collective, this is for you. What your angels may seek to communicate with you right now. And then, just as a reminder, I will definitely be sticking to my live schedule, my weeklies. I will go live maybe in like 2 hours or something, around, 2 hours from this video. But otherwise, if you're watching this today from when it's streamed, then thanks. So your card is the Ten of Swords. I'll be reading the interpretation, which is a very interesting one considering the questions that came up in this reading and how it is like tuning into this reading, into the live portion of it. Just worried about the burdens of the world. This card speaks of releasing all of that. Just trying the best to be in charge. Worry about your own individual. It says external events, war, destruction of the people or the environment. Acceptance, endurance, voluntary sacrifice in order to change and grow. Personal defeat, self-destructive attitude, the lowest part of a cycle, possibly an envious colleague or friend. That last one was interesting, very random. So yeah, I hope that you are made aware of any... I hope that whatever this card is bringing to your attention, I hope it resonates. I hope that the solutions of dealing with this energy come to mind. Otherwise, you can mostly just try to take a breath, relieve yourself, let go. We have Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which speaks of a change of perspective. untying yourself from your own self-made chains. You are deserving of a more easy breezy lifestyle, way of living, way of thinking. Not every problem is yours to deal with, and there is no way for you to take on the world's problems by yourself. Seek out to pull out all of these swords on your back. And thank you for being such a sensitive heart. As I mentioned early on in this live stream, you are deserving of relief, of community who care for and hold you. And I hope you can look after yourself and your heart. And again, thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you, for those interested, in the collective reading that I'll be doing in a few hours. Otherwise, I'll see you again next week for the same thing.